So I've decided that I want to be helpful to my local church, whether you're a part of Bethel or some other local church. You've decided you want to be helpful. How do you go about doing that? We're going to discuss that in this video. This video is a part of a larger series of videos called Virtual Coach. If you go to our YouTube channel, Bethel Pittsburgh, go under playlist, you'll find a playlist called Virtual Coach. And in there, you'll notice the titles of each individual video will say Virtual Coach in a category. This category is under, I think the wording is Pursuit of the Mission or something along those lines. And what we're doing here is trying to figure out how do I effectively, positively contribute to the local church that I'm a part of. And one of the ways that I can do that is through creativity. That is that the more creative I am, the more helpful I can be. And this is the way this plays out. It can play out in multiple different ways. But if we have a problem as a church or something we're not effective at or something that we could be doing or something that would be useful for the kingdom, any of those kind of questions and thoughts, figuring out a solution to that's what creativity ultimately is in this sense. Now, there are other forms of creativity like art, for example, and you can find ways to use artistic ability and tech ability in a creative way, or music ability for sure. So there's different ways that we can go about using those kinds of creativity. But in its basic sense, it's being able to make something come into existence. Now, we aren't creative in God's sense. God can literally make something out of nothing, but we're utilizing things that exist and moving that in the direction of creating something else. You kind of think of it this way. My kids in the past had asked me, did God make everything? Yes. Okay, then did God make this car? Well, sort of. Human beings made the car, but they made the car out of materials and ideas and such like that God had created. And so we're engaging in the created order in a creative way that brings about things into existence. So what I should be doing is I should always be thinking and observing and watching and engaging and looking at what's the point of what we're doing, what's the purpose of it, and what's our destination, where are we trying to head. And so, for example, if we need more money, then a creative person that's trying to be helpful would think, I wonder if there's a way that I can come up with that would help increase the finances that this church has. And then you do that, whether it's some kind of fundraiser or some kind of activity that produces income, or you at least suggest it and talk it over with leadership. Or, I'm noticing we need more people. Maybe we need more young people, more kids. How do we go about doing that? And then you get creative and you try to think about how do we get more young people here? And I wonder what it was a way that would make that happen. You think of, again, programs or some kind of activity or, some kind of relational connection or modifying certain things. You try to figure that out. And these are the ways that we utilize creativity to be helpful. And really the basic sense of it is if you would just start thinking about these things. What's missing? What could we be doing? What are we doing, but we could be doing it better? And then asking how. How can we achieve that? And if we have people, the more people, and I'm willing to contribute with my time and my resources and cooperate with leadership, the more people we have in our congregation that act that way, wow, just imagine that. Most successful sports teams or businesses usually don't get there because one individual within that team or in that company, that business, was being this way. It's because you had multiple people, especially the more successful that organization has the capacity to be, is dependent upon how many people within the organization are creative in this sense. And so our church, any local church, the church at large, is going to be better off if you start being creative. If you have any questions on that, please leave that in the comments below. I'd be glad to answer them. Or if you would like to grow in your faith in person and you live in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area, we would love for you to join us. We are Bethel Assembly of God. We are at 2501 Staten Street. We meet Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. and Sundays at 10 a.m. Or if you can't join us in person, you can join us online. We stream our Sunday 10 a.m. services live at Bethel Pittsburgh. Again, that's Sundays at 10 a.m. Jump right on our YouTube, Bethel Pittsburgh at that time, and you'll see the video available for you. Again, thank you for exploring this with me, but may God richly bless you.